That's Marky Mark, and I'm the Prince, and this is the NAO show. Welcome back. We have a fantastic Mark, what did you do with Tank Top Mike?
Man, I didn't do anything with him, but I was texting with him earlier, and he was heading back up to Cleveland to take care of some, getting some more stuff, the last of their stuff to bring down. Said he was stopping in Tennessee. He was going to stop by and see Dylan, and I hadn't heard from him since, man.
Have we heard from Dylan lately? Is Dylan alive?
Yeah, he's been radio silent for a while, so he said he was stopping by to see him, and that was the last I heard from him. It's been a few hours now, so not really sure what's going on with Tank Top, unfortunately.
After this show, I'm gonna look up some money to get Mike out of jail. But first, let's do the NAO show. Mark, what do we got on the docket today?
Well, we got a couple of trades to talk about, and they were with Goofy. And if you notice me, kind of nervously looking out the window in front of my office here, I'm looking for the plague of locusts because it's got to be the end times, man. Because Goofy made two trades, not just one, but two trades. So I'm a little nervous. I keep looking out there looks clear right now, but I'm just
Mark, if you see some guys on horses, run, my man. Run.
Yes, sir. So we'll do that. And we just got it's going to be our last show on Thursday. We're going to start taping on Tuesday. We're going to take a week off next week because we have family coming in from New York. Yep. And we'll start up Wednesday. Actually, it's Wednesday.
We got a special guest. That's
right. We sure do. We're going to start up Wednesday the 8th, right before the first game of the season on Thursday the 9th. We'll start doing the shows on Tuesday again, but we are going to start Wednesday not next week, but the week after, I guess. So.
All right, Mark, you made that as confusing as possible. Let's move on.
Yeah, everybody's got to check out your sundial, and you can check it out and see what we're doing. All right, let's start talking trades, man. As I said, Goofy with two trades. The first one was with the DBs. So we got the DBs receiving Jarrett Patterson, Chuba Hubbard, a 2022 second, a 2022 fourth, and a 2023 fifth. And I'm sorry, I was so busy today, I didn't get a chance to see whose teams these picks were from. So we'll just have to go with what they got. So Goofy received AJ Brown. No, Antonio Brown. He got Antonio Brown and Mike Williams. So you want to start us off, Mike or Sean?
Of course I would. First of all, Goofy, welcome to the league. You're only about a year, almost 2 years behind. It's okay. We accept you. Send me J.K. Dobbins. On other news, I really like the addition of Mike Williams. He was definitely lacking in wide receiver depth. I think we all knew that. And Antonio Brown, I mean, he's probably going to be wide receiver 3 with a asterisk because anybody that's brought in by Tom Brady always gets a little extra love. But you can't make an argument with me that Antonio Brown is going to out-target or out-fantasy points Chris Godwin or Mike Evans. You're just not going to win that argument with me. I do like the little snag by the DBs of getting Hubbard, the handcuff for their CMC, and that second-round pick. It'll be pretty good.
Yeah, I'll start on the DB side, I guess. I like the Chuba Hubbard pickup too. I think that he'll ascend to that number 2. I don't know if he's locked in there yet, but I think that he will before we get too far into the season. You remember just back in 2019, he had 2,094 yards rushing. Great season. If he'd have come out that year, he probably would have been a high draft pick. Did he get injured? I think I'm trying to remember. I think he either sat out or he got injured.
I can't remember.
Yeah, and so no 2020 for him, and so he's been out a year. But guy's definitely got some upside. He dropped in the draft because of what happened in 2020, and he if he gets back to that form, he might be a sneaky pick by Carolina and a good pickup by the DBs. Jarrett Patterson, so undrafted free agent. I kind of look at him as a Singletary type. He reminds me a lot of Devin Singletary.
Well, that's not a good comparison.
No, not a great comparison. He's been playing well, but he's it's preseason. He's not playing against the top guys. He's getting a lot of work because he's not going to be a lead back. He may work up to a number 3 in that system, but there's a lot of guys there. We have to see what happens and who they keep and who they cut. So we'll see what happens there, but it's not a bad flyer to take, and especially when they got Gibson. So, they got their 2 potential handcuffs there. Second rounder is going to be nice. 4th and 5th rounder. Yeah. Extra picks never hurts. So Antonio Brown, I actually think you look at his last 3 games last season, he had 4 TDs in the last 3 games. He was kind of coming on strong at the end there. I feel like if he's going to take away from anybody, it would be Mike Evans, but I don't think he'll take enough away from Mike Evans. I think Godwin's the intermediate guy. He's gonna get his, I think, and I think Antonio, if he snipes from anybody, it's going to be Evans probably more than Godwin. But he's 33 years old. He got kicked out of a practice for fighting, and he's still Antonio Brown. So you never know with a guy. You get him because he's got that potential to go over 100 yards and get you a touchdown, and he also has the potential to be out of the league within a couple of weeks. Mike Williams I like a lot. He's in a contract year. He's the thing with Mike Williams, he's kind of known for having injuries, but he plays through a lot of injuries. I was looking up that in 2017, he only played 10 games, but 2018 through 2020, he only missed 2 games the whole time. But he plays hurt a lot because he high points the ball and he doesn't worry about how he comes down and he hurts himself. And he's already dealing with a little bit of a hip in the preseason here. So I like him a lot. He's just got to take better care of his body. And I think he can really have a huge season. And a lot of times these guys that are in a contract year, they go out there and they give it their all and they have a good season. So, I like it. I wish Mike Williams would do a little better about taking care of himself. It was a fair trade though. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from Goofy to have like a pretty even trade in the calculators. Even just looking at it on the surface, if you didn't plug it in, you look at it and you say, yeah, I think each side got pretty good value there. So we will go on to our second trade, which also involved Goofy. And we don't have that. No plague yet. No plague. So
all right, good.
No swarm of locusts. So we'll keep talking. So Goofy in this trade got Matt Breida, Frank Darby. He got 2 2022 second rounders, and he got a 2023 4th rounder. I think he learned from the DBs. Throw in a future 4th rounder, and we got a deal. So.
that was something that was legitimately said.
Yeah, you probably learned it in the trade before. He did that trade with the DBs before. They got a 4th rounder in there. So he's like, hey, I kind of like that, man. I'm going to do that. So used car salesman there. All right. That trade was with yours truly. No, not yours truly. Airgate, who got Samaje Perine and Justin Fields. So tell us about your trade. Are you excited about it?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think if you go back and you look at Herbert, I'm not saying Justin Fields is going to be Herbert. He has the potential, but there's nothing saying that he will be. I'm pretty sure there was a first and a running back moved in that trade. So let me pull the Herbs up and I'll tell you exactly. All right, so Herbert was moved to the team that shall not be spoken. He got Herbert,
auto
the
poo.
first round pick, and he sent D Swift and Tua Tagovailoa
That's pretty good.
to Tank Top Mike. So I wanted to get Fields before the start of the season because I wanted to throw him on my taxi. If you're going to have a quarterback on your taxi, make sure it's a good one. I think Fields fits that category. Then
is that a shore up the taxi?
Maybe we're throwing that around in development and research.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Stage. Yeah. Then I got my handcuff for Joe. We also what Gio did last year when Joe went down. So I thought it was a good, solid move to shore up a couple spots, create depth. What do you think there?
Well, yeah, Fields is. I think he's got a bright future. Maybe he's reminds me a lot of RG3, but I think he's maybe a little bit better, just a better football player than RG3. I think RG3 was a great athlete, and maybe not quite. I don't know. I don't want to diss on RG3, but I don't know that he was as good a passer or just football intelligent as Fields. I feel like Fields has he's got some RG3 with some more upside, I think,
I don't want to make this comparison completely, so take this with a grain of salt, because the person that I'm going to compare him with is, besides his off the field crap, very good football player, but Michael Vick, maybe, where when he first started the league, he had a really zippy arm. Like the balls went straight. They didn't have much of a touch on them. They're just boom, power, power, power. And then he could get out of bad situations with his legs. Yeah. We kind of saw that in the preseason game with Justin Fields, where he was rolling to his right and then he did a full 360 to his right, came back around kind of like a Patrick Mahomes running around. And then he ran the thing in for a touchdown. So I think he's going to actually use his eyes, use his football knowledge. And when he goes, oh, crap, this team sucks, he's going to try to run it. And in fantasy, any quarterback that has good running upside are solid points. Solid points.
Yeah, that's probably a good comparison with Vick. I think because Vick, I would say, was better than RG3. And Fields could probably at least be as good as Vick, if not better. So, yeah, it's a good one to get him before he gets too expensive, like Herbert did. So not a bad move. Yeah, P. Ryan is I don't know. He's kind of he's a big guy, more of a plotter. He's a good receiver. You say he's the handcuff. I kind of feel like my guy Chris Evans might be the handcuff before it's all said and done. Here we go. No, I don't know. That's the thing, man. It's
I think if Joe,
it's wide open there in Cincinnati.
If Joe goes down, it's going to be a running back by committee, probably.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, I don't know if P. Ryan's a workhorse at all, but not a bad guy to have if you got Mixon, and P. Ryan would probably see a bump if Mixon goes down for anything. So we got Goofy getting Matt Breida. He's going to be 27 this year. He's a real good athlete. Hasn't made the best of his opportunities, unfortunately. Kind of bounced around. I'm surprised you traded the number one guy for Buffalo. At least that's what you told us. You told us recently that he was the number one guy. So Goofy got an RB1 in Matt Breida.
You got a cheap RB1 in Breida.
Yeah. Now he's, catches the ball well. He's had a little bit of an injury history.
Commissioner, what's the going rate for an RB1?
Oh yeah, didn't we say today it was 2 first rounders?
2 first rounders? The going rate? Continue.
Yeah. FNG concurs. So he got Frank Darby. So he's kind of Frank Darby's, I'd say he's probably the number 4 on that team. He might not be a bad dynasty stash. He's a little bit like Jacoby Myers to me. 6th-round guy that's better than a 6th-round pick maybe, but still playing behind some guys. So he's going to have to work his way up there, and he may be relevant later on. It probably would take an injury this year, I think, for him to be out there getting too much, but we'll see.
So both of those guys were going to be my drops. So
right.
We just threw him in the deal because you're not going to probably find much more on the wire for him.
Yeah. I think that Goofy got good value out of Fields, at least with the 2 second-rounders, because I think he drafted him in the 2nd round.
Mm-hmm.
So to get that back and get another 2nd-rounder, he kind of doubled his value or doubled his investment there. And he's got so many quarterbacks that, it was easy for him to trade Fields. So I like it, again, for both of you guys. It's a very even trade. And both of you got, things that you need there, and came out pretty well, I think. So
if everything works out, I'll have 2 quarterbacks that are going to be top-end quarterbacks. So that'll be nice.
Talking about Burrow and Fields, or
yeah,
I mean 2 young ones, and good guys to have in Dynasty. So not a bad move, not at all. Well, that concludes the trade portion of the show. We thought we'd talk about team names. You want to talk a little bit about team names?
Yeah,
we've had a lot going on with team names here lately. So
the auto poo is in.
Yeah, it's funny. I really wasn't sure if that would catch on or not, but I think we're already referring to that guy that would not be named normally to auto poo because of his propensity to click on the poo emoji for everything.
Now he has another one, but we won't even change the name because his name's freaking shit, and that is what he is. So it is very, very fitting.
Yeah, he just went to it too much, and it came back to haunt him, I think. So I kind of like it. I was kicking around Queen Mother, but which props to Ricky for that. He's the one that came up with Queen Mother, and I kind of like that one. But auto poo, it's kind of got a ring to it. So
it's got a good ring to it. Stinky smell, but it's very fitting.
Yeah. Tell me what you think about the DB's latest name. So they're trying to go with Shake and Bake, and with a big reference to
fucking garbage. Come on, come up with something more original.
Well, I mean, I'll give them credit. They were going for the love of the Talladega Nights with the Shake and Bake going on there, and they got
it's like 2 penises touching. I'm just saying.
For those of you listening, you didn't see Sean with the 2 fingers together, which indicates DBs, which does not stand for defensive backs.
That does not stand for defensive back.
So it was a good try, kind of pandering to everybody's love of Will Ferrell, and I don't even know the other guy's name. Gosh, what is his name? I can't even think of his name now. But
you can just say that they're not cool enough to use that reference.
Yeah, they tried, and I think even Brandon referred to Bake. He was like, he made a reference to, hey, Bake coming with the I'm like, okay, no, doesn't work, man.
They're trying too hard, and it makes it worse.
Yeah, they picked the wrong guy for Will Ferrell with me, because I'm not a Will Ferrell fan. So
you love Will Ferrell.
I like him in Elf, and I like him in Elf.
What? That's the only one? All right, Elf, solid movie. We have all the time, so we can get into the weeds on this. So, Elf, solid movie. Talladega Nights, very funny movie. Step Brothers, hilarious.
Well, it's funny. All of those, it's sort of like there's a lot of moments that I like, but then there's so many that I'm like, just too much, man. It's just too much. Even I love The Office, and he was in The Office for several episodes, and same thing. It was like some of it was gold, but a lot of it was just too over the top. And that's me with Will Ferrell. It's just over the top too much, and it's like it stops being funny and it starts being kind of creepy to me. So I did like him in the movie called Everything Must Go. He played a dramatic role in that one, and he was really good in that. And I think he should do more of that. Kind of like Jim Carrey did the dramatic roles, and you're like, "Holy crap, you guy can act!" You know.
Jim Carrey was the most underrated actor of his time. Like,
yeah.
Everyone thought he was Ace Ventura, and that was his lane, stay in your lane, what have you. And then was it like The Cable Man, like a creepy movie?
Very creepy. Very creepy.
And then
Cable Guy.
The Tillman Show?
Oh, Truman Show.
Truman Show.
Yeah.
Awesome freaking movie.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Yep. What was the one I liked? Oh gosh, I can't think. I can never. It's a long name. Sunshine of the Eternal Mind, or I can't ever remember the full name of it. That was a real good one. That's a good one. Look it up. I always have to look it up. I always have to look up the title because it's just.
It's so good you don't remember the title.
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah. No, it's a long ass title, and it's like, why don't you just call it something simple? But now, so I guess the consensus here is that we don't accept shake and bake on the NAO show. They will continue to be DBs. Keep trying, guys.
Denied.
Keep trying. Wait for it. Denied. All right. Last one we wanted to talk about. And here again, you just told me today it's another Will Ferrell reference. PWW.
Yeah, I had to explain to the old man what the PWW meant. And Prestige Worldwide would be so sad to know that somebody didn't know what they were talking about. But he got the boats and hose reference. He got that reference.
I had no idea. Yeah, that was, that's kind of funny, but just he's sticking with PWW. It's really boring. To me, I see the PW and I think of Pussy Willow or other things that might go along with pussy. So it doesn't work for me.
I am still a strong advocate for Swamp Dick. I really like that, or Swamp Donkey, or Donkey's.
Yeah.
Something of that nature, or all of that nature. I'm all for it.
I thought it was funny as hell when I just made this random post and said he should name his team Swamp Dick, Pot Grower, MFer, and then he just did it.
And then he did.
He's like, okay, all right. Must have been a good gummy that night. He's like, sure, I'll do that. So he was that for a while, so we were calling him Swamp Dick, and then going back to douche canoes. We love douche canoes, man.
Douche canoe is so solid.
I think we spent 5 minutes. Yeah, I think we spent a good 5 minutes on one show talking about douche canoes and laughing about it, And so then he comes up with PWW, and okay, I get it. Another Will Ferrell reference. Not loving it, man.
DBs, Humpty.
Not loving it.
You're as good as the DBs. We hold you in higher regard. We expect more out of you.
And I guess he was kind of. Yeah, he was.
If only to piss off the name that shall not be spoken again for changing your name again.
Yeah, true. Change it and make him change it on the site. That'd be great. Yeah, you got. It's just so boring now.
Yeah.
PWW.
Lame.
Very lame. All right. I think that concludes the dishing on team names segment of the program.
Lousy. Continue.
Yeah. So glad Auto Poo caught on, though. That's great, man. I don't think he's liking that. And he's probably going to listen. He's going to listen to the show, and then he's going to write me an Ian Steele novel. I love it. Ian Steele is a pretty good name for an author, Ian Steele.
No, you're giving him way too much credit.
Come on. I mean, I'll give him that, It'd be romance novels, with Fabio on the cover,
Romance novels, you could totally see him writing them.
But I love it, man. Somebody says something about him, and then you see Steele is writing.
And then you say something, and then it stops. And then Steele's writing. Steele's writing.
So we're going to call those Ian Steele novels, and we like that. We like our Ian Steele novels. So I'm looking forward to one on the auto poop.
Just so the league knows, just so the whole NAO is in understanding, if you say something and Ian Steele writes you a book, you win.
That's right.
You
That's
automatically win, regardless of the scenario or whatever the fuck his rebuttal is and what old English bullshit he has.
Yeah.
You win.
That's why I called it today. I was like, okay, Evan wins. Because Steele just wrote a novel defending himself.
I'm pretty sure he put that in his calendar as the day that he beat Ian, and he's going to celebrate it for the rest of his life.
All right, let's move on. So we were talking about this is pretty cool here. And
yeah, we got a good idea this week.
Looking forward to talking about this and seeing what the rest of the league thinks. So, one of those days where we don't have a lot for the show and we're just kind of getting through this show, and next Wednesday starts the season and we'll be doing matchups and have a special guest. And so this is just kind of a throwaway show, but we were talking about things we're looking forward to in this season coming up. And we were talking about all the young quarterbacks. We came up with 9 young quarterbacks that we're looking forward to see in, the second year for a couple of them and the rookie year for many of them. And how they
do, Mark.
What's that?
What did we do with those 9 quarterbacks?
We ranked them.
We ranked them. Everybody loves a good ranking show.
We ranked them. So do we want to start in reverse order like we did?
We're going in reverse order because that's what Ian's
reverse order.
Loves. Let's do it.
Should I name them off or no? Let's just go. Yeah, let's go one at a time. We're going to talk about
big guy.
The 9 quarterbacks that we're looking forward to see what they do this year. Number 9 was Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, running back, is throwing the table right now because he is real mad. He is big mad that Trey Lance is at the bottom of this list.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to, right? Because the guy hadn't played. He played one game against Central Arkansas State or something like that. So, and he looks a little raw. I mean, he's had some great throws. You can see a lot of potential there, but I think there's a learning curve and he's going to need to be coached up a little bit. What are your thoughts on Trey Lance?
I will say that Trey Lance is in the best situation for his talent, his athleticism, and his lack of knowledge. I actually think his lack of playing is going to be a benefit to him because there's not a lot for him to have to forget. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he knew the playbook, but a lot of that playbook was just, hey, Trey, take the hike and do whatever the heck you can with it. You know what I mean? Like, if you can throw the ball, throw it. If you can run for 60 yards, run for 60 yards. That was their whole offense in North Dakota. All right. But I think in San Francisco, he is going to be a sponge, which is exactly what you need to do in that. They're going to make play calling easy for him. San Francisco is going to run the ball. So that's going to be helping with the play action and the RPO. It's going to be, I think he has some of the biggest upside.
Yeah, I think they'll do some, they'll probably have some stuff where he can come out and do a change of pace thing. And the coaching is going to be good there. I think he's in a good situation to learn, and they'll, I think they traded up. They got the guy they wanted. They could have gotten Fields if they wanted to. And yeah, I think they got the guy they want to get and that they can fit into their offensive scheme around. So I think, he may not be down here at the end of the list in a few years, but I do think right now he's probably the most raw talent there. So yeah, go ahead.
8.
You'll do number 8?
Okay. We got Jalen Hurts.
Start us off, man.
What do you think, Mark?
No, you don't want to start us off. Okay. Yeah, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, another real raw one. He had some really good moments in a couple of games, and then some kind of fizzled out towards the end of the season. So Um, I don't know. I'm not crazy about him. He's getting drafted pretty high because he's got that rushing upside.
Mhm.
Um, I think that I think he's still kind of a project in the works right now. I almost feel like he's this is kind of a make or break year. It's only a second year, but I kind of feel like it's a make or break year because they've got some draft capital moving forward. If they finish down low, they may look for another quarterback. And there's a couple coming out next year that they could look at.
I totally agree because if Wentz plays more than 70% of snaps in Indianapolis, Philadelphia gets a first round pick in that trade.
Yeah, yeah.
And that could be easily pushed into a quarterback, which
Yeah.
is really crappy for Jalen Hurst because last year he didn't know when he was playing. It was back and forth. The head coach didn't know when he was going to play. He didn't know if he was going to be the starter. When he went in there, he was just kind of running around like a chicken with his head cut off because half of their wide receivers were either broken or didn't know how to play. And I feel it was a big disservice to Jalen Hurts going to Philadelphia because A, they didn't know what the heck they wanted to do at quarterback position, and B, they are horrible about developing wide receivers. I mean, if Rhaegar went anywhere else, I really feel like he would have been a diamond in the rough last year in the rookie draft. And I don't know. I will. I want to start. I want to hit on this connection between quarterbacks and wide receivers coming out of college. I don't know if Jalen and Smith played a whole lot together because of. I think Smith was a rookie or a freshman when Jalen was a senior or what have you. I don't care about Alabama. They can roll Tide right off a fucking bridge for all I care. But I'm interested to see the connection because a few teams, and we'll get into those later down on this list. A few teams have kind of done the stack, like the NFL stack. We're gonna draft the quarterback and the wide receiver from the same school that played together. So it'll be interesting to see what that happens.
Yeah, him and Smith. Yeah, that one's there's a few of those this year. We'll talk about the other ones as we get to the quarterbacks, but that's probably the most obscure one, Hurts and Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
But they were on the same field for a time, and so there could be something there. So we'll see what happens. Hurts is he targeted Goddard a lot last season, and yeah, that's why I was not, I was okay with trading for Goddard and when I made that trade with the DBs, but traded him to you since then.
Hey, I gave you really good value, so
he's that was a great trade for me. But no, and he's doing the same thing this year. It kind of tells me that he's checking down kind of early and just kind of getting the ball off. So let's see if he can start, trying to hit that number one progression and not move off of it too quick. And I think he just needs to learn to get a little more comfortable staying back there for a few seconds and trying to go through his progressions. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes, man. So at number seven. We have Tua time. Tua Tagovailoa. So I've heard a lot of good things about him this year from people that study film and evaluate these guys that they're saying, okay, he had the hip injury. He had a real simple kind of offense last year. They didn't really, they weren't trying to throw too much at him at one time. And there's some people that say that he did some good things while he was in there last year. It wasn't pretty, I don't think. If you look at the numbers and you look at some of the plays, but then there were others where they see some reason for optimism. So yeah, he was all the rage. He was tank for Tua, he's the guy that everybody wanted. I know you're not real high on him, but I'm glad to see that they brought in some weapons in Will Fuller, and they drafted Jalen Waddle. Devontae Parker's still there, and I feel like they're trying to build a good team around him. So I think this is going to be a big year for him. I'm a little higher on him. I was actually kind of targeting him as a second quarterback in our family league, but I ended up going another way. But I was looking at him as a good late round pickup in redraft. So what do you think about Tua? I know you haven't been crazy about him.
Since Tua's been in the league, I've always said that he was going to be not what he was drafted to be. He was drafted to be a top 5 quarterback and carry the Miami Dolphins to Dan Marino glory, even surpass him, like make to the big show. And I've never felt confident that Tua was able to do it because in Alabama, it makes me sick to talk about Alabama as much as I've already have.
You throw up in your mouth a little bit.
Just a little bit, right then. He had a bunch of freaking weapons in Alabama. You know what I mean? Like, and then they were playing teams like University of Florida, like not very great teams, So yeah, like it sucks because he even said himself that he didn't really understand the playbook last year, and that's coaching and him, but I hope bringing in Waddle again, that college connection, they're able to speak on a different language. You know what I mean? Like speak that Alabama stuff. Like they'll be able to make the connection. Like instead of it being, I don't know, Z wiggle bullshit, it's a down and out for Alabama or something stupid like that, right? And they'll be able to make that connection quicker. So I think the learning curve for Waddle is going to be higher because Tua is there, but I don't think Tua is going to be the long term in Miami. I think he is going to be holding down the reins right now, and if you have Gesicki, he's going to get a bunch of freaking targets just like Jalen Hurts, he's going to be dumping it down into the tight end. Yeah, I'm not high on Tua at all.
Yeah, no, I know you're not. I think I'm a little higher, a little more optimistic. So this will be a big year for him to see if he makes that step forward or not. So I like the fact that he should be, more fully healthy now. That was a pretty bad injury, and
yeah,
it's pretty amazing he was even out there. I would have, if I would have just redshirted him, man. I would have drafted him and redshirted and let him carry a clipboard. They had him out there, and so I think he's got a little bit under his belt now. We'll see if he can make that jump.
It's kind of if you do that, you're at the will of the fans. Kind of leads us into our 6th quarterback, Mack Jones.
6. It is 6. Okay.
The fans in New England would love to see Mack Jones start because he's doing pretty well in preseason there, Marky Mark. What do you think?
Yeah. I think he's my sleeper on this list.
Ooh.
I think that that they if he gets coached up like I think he's going to get coached up, he's going to be okay. So he's got pretty much no kind of scrambling and rushing ability. He's definitely
a pocket passer.
Pocket passer, yeah. And he's an intelligence guy. He's gonna be the guy that goes up there and reads the defense and knows where he's throwing before the ball is snapped.
If memory serves me right, there was another pocket passer that was in New England.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Tom Brady. What team does he play for? Oh, man. All right. I think
yeah. Well, I'm not going to give him Tom Brady comps at this point, but I think he's better than advertised. I don't think a lot of people are high on him, but I think he can be good, and I think he's done well in the preseason, and I think he'll be starting before the end of the season. I think sooner than later. And
I think the question is he starting before week 5? Because at week 5, Tampa Bay goes into New England. And do you put the rookie against the 7-time Super Bowl champ Tom Brady? Like, come on. Like, that storyline writes itself. You know what I mean?
True, man. True. Be hilarious if Mac Jones wins it. Mac and Bill. Bill win it.
Excuse me. Tom Brady's going to go in there and F things up. All right.
It'd be great.
No way we're walking out of New England without a W in our pocket.
It's the only way Bill gets his revenge, man, because he's got egg on his face for letting him go now. So if Mac Jones beats Tom Brady week 5, you say that'd be sweet for Bill. That'd be his revenge. I like Mac Jones though.
The question is, does Tom Brady meet Bill Belichick at center of the field after that?
Oh man, they're fine.
Lacking, we're gonna put on New England.
They're fine, man. They're fine. They're gonna kiss and make up. They won a lot of games together, so
a lot of Super Bowl games.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go on to our next one. So what number is it when we go back?
We are at 5.
We're at 5 now. Number 5, Justin Fields. We talked about him a little bit already because we had a trade with him, but let's just mention him real quick here.
Okay.
They're saying that Andy Dalton's going to start the first game of the season, and Fields is going to play a lot in this next preseason game because Andy Dalton is the starter.
Yep.
And there are those in the fantasy biz, that think that Andy Dalton is the starter because they're playing the Rams, and it's kind of the sacrificial lamb to put out there against Aaron Donald. And they're like, well, let's see if maybe Andy gets wiped out by Aaron, and then we can just start him and everything's cool. We didn't lie to Andy and say he was a starter, just to take him out, So it's kind of a funny, I just wonder. I don't know that I'd want Fields out there against Aaron Donald. He's the quarterback of the future. Why take a chance on him getting pile driven by him? So what do you think, though? I know you love Justin Fields.
Justin Fields was a starting quarterback against the Rams. Andy Donald is going to be it. Yes,
Aaron Donald beating up Andy Dalton. There, get it straight.
He's gonna just be like, ooh, rookie meat, and he's just gonna try to get him. And we don't want that for Justin Fields, especially me.
Yeah. I mean, Andy has always been that middle of the pack guy who has his good moments and then a lot of bad moments, and not inspiring, not a guy that's winning a lot of games, not really a great leader. I don't think he's ever been able to really inspire his guys for a lot, which is unfortunate because he's a good guy. He's an average quarterback, just hasn't been able to inspire anybody to go out there and give it their all, I don't think. So I think Fields will be starting before too long, but I think it's probably not a bad idea to let him carry the clipboard instead of going out there and facing Aaron Donald in his very first NFL game.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I like his upside. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I think Chicago, when these other teams passed on him, like Denver, Carolina, all these teams passing on him, Chicago was like, what? He's still out there. I give him a lot of credit for finally doing something good, because Chicago in the last few years has just been a shit show, man. So to go out there and go and get this guy, maybe they'll finally turn it around. Maybe they'll do it.
I personally think Justin Fields is the most athletic quarterback that came out this year.
Yeah.
Maybe not the most experienced, because I think Lawrence played in the SEC, seen all those pretty much NFL defenses, the whole time he was in Clemson, which is ACC, but he played SEC teams.
Good catch.
Don't come at me, Ian.
Good catch.
I think Justin Fields is the most athletic of the rookies coming out this year.
Yeah.
Which leads us right into number 4, we got the number 1 overall draft pick in last year's NFL draft. Well, this year's NFL draft. Trevor Lawrence going to the Jags. What do you think there, Marky Mark?
Yeah, he's been a little shaky in the preseason, but I still think he's going to be okay. I don't know, man. I saw a thing today that said some of the players aren't really happy with Meyer already. So who knows if they made the right decision there bringing him in. He's had some success, but first time in the NFL, I honestly think it didn't kill him to bring him in because he's popular there. I mean, I told you I went to a Jacksonville game a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And those fans are just rabid, man. There's such good fans here. And you could say the same thing, even though you're not crazy about them. You can say the same thing about the Gator fans. And so bringing him in there, I think it's a good thing to sell tickets and maybe give the fans some optimism. And but I don't know. It's already looking kind of shaky for Meyer. But I think Trevor's going to be okay. I really think he's going to be okay. It's early, so he's got a learning curve, and I think that he's got what it takes though to do his thing there.
I think Lawrence has the capability to be a true leader in Jacksonville, but Myers is going to be the linchpin. If it is true and people aren't jumping in on Myers, they're not going to be in on anything Myers has done. Vice Trevor Lawrence. So I think it all falls on the head coach right now. The head coach can't lose the freaking locker room. He needs to get buy-in from the veterans, and he needs those veterans to teach up these rookies that he just drafted. I know ETN, he's out for the season. Sorry to hear that. Sucks. But I think it all falls on him. And I don't think he has a very long leash, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think he gets maybe 2 years of bad play, and he's gone. Yeah. Just absolutely gone. And that's really a disservice to Trevor, because I think if he had solid coaching, kind of like what Trey has in San Francisco, he would be very, very good. But I really think that the veterans not buying into the whole head coaching plethora of ideas, or him just throwing college stuff out there and doing college things, like not saying that Trevor was going to be the number 1 quarterback.
Yeah.
Like,
that was stupid.
I knew that, and I'm not a professional. All right. I knew you were not going to have Gardner Minshew come in and play freaking quarterback when you picked Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. To me, that's where he started off on the wrong foot, because he said, we're going to take this number 1 overall draft pick and put him in a competition with a 6th rounder. I think Minshew was,
yeah,
a 6th round quarterback. And of course, he's not as good as Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is one of the most highly recruited guys, one of the best prospects coming out in a long time. And yeah, it was just kind of stupid. I mean, I guess if you want to inspire Trevor, then do it internally. Don't go out in the media and say that there's a quarterback competition. It was just ridiculous. So
I really think if he went out there and he said, "Hey, we're all behind this guy,"
yeah,
that creates a mindset for the veterans. Okay, this is going to be our quarterback. Let's teach him up. Let's bring him out to places. Create a relationship between them. Like this. Oh, we don't know who's going to play. Like, everybody in that locker room knew exactly who was going to play.
Yeah.
Only Gardner Minshew didn't know. You know what I mean? I hope he's pooped now that it's come out that Trevor's going to be number 1.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really worried about.
Yeah. Number 2 is now an option, Gardner.
Yes.
So
you are the number 2 option.
Go out there and get that business done, man. I'll tell you what, though, when I was there, it was when he first burst onto the scene, and it was crazy. They were crazy about Gardner Minshew. and a lot of the shops had his mustache. They had these stickers that was just his mustache, on their windows and stuff. So it was pretty cool. And Minshew, he's a good guy. He's a lot of fun, but he's a backup. He's a backup quarterback. He's
backup
not.
quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. And they got a good situation there because they still got him under the rookie contract. So, enjoy that, but don't go out there and say there's a competition. Come on. I don't know. And maybe that's what they're thinking. Okay, if he's going to bullshit like that, then is
Exactly.
he what else is he bullshitting about? So I don't know. I'm pulling for Trevor, and I hope that he is the quarterback that we think he is, but not the best team, not a great defense. Might be a good fantasy option because they should be behind and passing a lot. So
a lot of garbage yards.
Yeah. Good weapons there too. If you think about Chark and Chenault and bringing in Marvin Jones, that's some good weapons there. So
Marvin Jones is going to be a guy we look at the end of the year and be like, man, this guy really did really well in a new team. So
I think he can have his best season ever.
In redraft leagues, I'm targeting him in like 11th round and later.
Yeah, he's going in the 11th, 12th round, and I mean, he seems to be Trevor's number one target. So what's not to like?
Exactly.
Damn. I hope FNG doesn't listen because I was going to offer him a third rounder for him. Well, anyway, let's go on to our next number 3 quarterback. We said that Zach Wilson is the number 3 of all these young guns. So, do you want to start us off, Sean? You got anything to say about him?
Let me light this firecracker, as they say. I am going to go on the record and say that I think the Jets are on the uptill.
Yeah,
they are making good freaking moves. They got a whole new offense. Zach, I mean, the only thing that they could really do is start playing Martin a little more. I mean, like, give the guy a bone a little bit, shit. But I was watching him on ESPN, and I think his throws on the run were better than him with his feet underneath him. They had more zip on them. They were more accurate. They went farther. I was like, is this guy a second baseman or a quarterback? Like, that's what I was comparing him to. Like, I've seen second basemen and shortstops make crazy throws to first base, and it is exactly what Zach Wilson's doing for 40 yards with a football. It is crazy.
Yeah, a guy that looks like he hasn't gone through puberty throwing the ball like that. It's pretty amazing, man.
He still needs his mom to sign all his checks to.
I'm saying, man. I mean, yeah, he's got a hell of an arm. He's looked good. Now, I will say the competition hasn't been the best.
Right.
Even when he's played against the ones, it hasn't been great teams he's played against so far. But I mean, if he can continue that level of play against better competition
into the regular season, that's going to be the big deciding factor. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's their guy, and I agree that I think the Jets are. I think this could be the coach that finally brings them out of the doldrums.
Yeah.
They have had some injuries. They lost Carl Lawson for the year, which is just a shame. I can't remember. There's another defensive guy they lost here recently, and they've been kind of hit a little bit by the injury bug. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out. But offensively, with bringing in Corey Davis, who fits in well with that type of offense, and they got running backs that can catch the ball. They've got who else is there? Elijah Moore. Yeah, Elijah Moore, your guy. Denzel Mims, if he can make a jump in the second year, they got the weapons there. What's his name?
Corey Davis is there.
Yeah, no, it said Corey. I thought it said Corey Davis, but they brought him in. They got some weapons for him, and they've got that running back committee. They've got nobody great, but a lot of good guys.
They got somebody, but they just won't give him the ball.
I know you're hoping for Carter to be the guy, but we'll see. I'm telling you, man, the guy's not a good pass blocker. He's not going to be out there all the
I
time.
don't want to hear it. Continue.
Sorry. So sorry. But I think Ty Johnson and P Ryan hasn't been doing much, but Tevin Coleman could be a guy that's,
We're still on this? Like,
yeah,
let's go.
yeah, yeah. But the point was he's got some good weapons there. And it just seems to be, I like Solid because I think he's a good motivator of players. They're going to play hard for him. And I hope they do turn it around. How many years have we been? I mean, we're from New York and we've never been Jets fans because they just suck.
One time, not ever.
They just always sucked, We want them to be good, but they just always sucked, So it'd be nice to see him finally do a little something. So
it'd be good for the NFL if Jacksonville and the Jets kind of turn it around a little bit.
Yeah. Two perennial bottom feeders.
Kind of like what Cleveland, they're turning it around.
Yeah. I'd love to see it.
A lot of
I really
professionals that do picks at the beginning of the year, and they have Cleveland winning that division, which is just astounding to me. Yeah. Not because it's how bad Cleveland is, but because Cleveland's fantastic. But look where they've come from. They've come from the bottom of the bottom, and now they're being picked at the beginning of the season to win their division.
Yeah, and the Jets could be the next team to do that. So I hope Wilson has some success there. Give us a number 2 since he's
number 2.
He's your guy.
Joe effing Burrow. Joe effing Burrow. Yes. Okay, so let me get on this. All right. So last year, everyone saw, besides the head coach, that the offensive line was absolutely trash and that Joe Burrow was going to get hurt. You could literally throw a dart at any analyst last year, and they all said, oh, I hope he doesn't get hurt. I hope he doesn't get hurt. Because that offensive line's real freaking bad. Maybe we should not play him, blah, blah. Fast forward, what happens? Joe Burrow gets significantly hurt. But he heals, has good offseason, has OTAs, has an actual offseason where he can get the playbook under him. And then they add Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has not looked very good in preseason games. He has some off-the-field issues, some drop issues, which I kind of chalk up to A, him not playing last year, and B, he might have a little more personal crap in his mind that's kind of messing him up, throwing him off a little bit. We're not here to judge Jamar Chase right now. But Joe Burrow, I think if he can get some actual snaps where he's getting hit and he gets to the point where he can trust his legs underneath him, he is going to be very, very good this year. Because not only does he have Jamar Chase, but he has Higgins, and he has Boyd, and he has Joe Mixon. All solid targets to throw the ball to. So I like Joe Burrow. I went out and got him. And I think he's going to have a good comeback year.
Yeah. I can tell you, I played high school ball and I kind of hyperextended my knee. I didn't tear the ACL, but I had a really bad sprain, a lot of swelling on the knee. And it's just a kind of a freaky feeling when your knee, one part of your leg goes one way and the other part goes the other way. It's pretty freaky feeling there. And I know that mentally was the hardest part. I got to where I could run and I could cut and I was fine. But mentally, you're thinking about it every time you get hit, every time you do anything, and it takes a while to get over that. So I feel for Joe Burrow because I know exactly what he's going through, and he's going through it on a much higher level than I did. He's playing. He's not playing slow high school guys. He's playing the fastest, biggest ass, NFL guys.
So,
yeah. So it's gonna. I'm really glad to see he's going to get a little bit of work in this next preseason game. He's going to take a hit or two, and he's going to start to realize, okay, I'm good, man. I'm all right.
And once this guy gets confidence, watch out.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he can get his confidence, and get his head back into the game, he's going to be just as good as he was before he got hurt last year.
Yeah, he was looking really good, man. Any analyst, any film guy you listen to says that he was killing it, and it was just, the only way was up for him. And what was it, week 10 or so that he got hurt. So
Yep.
it's going to be probably a little slow start, but I think he's going to come on strong and be really good. I'm glad he's got Chase there, somebody he's familiar with. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and you look at Auden Tate as their number 4.
Yeah.
And Joe Mixon out of the backfield. Who they got? Drew Sample at tight end. Even that's got a lot of weapons there, man. So he's got the means to be a successful quarterback. So I hope he gets over.
Going to stop anything, so they're going to be in shootouts all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
I just really hope that line comes together and protects them a little bit better. They didn't do a great job, I don't think, drafting and getting the next guys they need to in there. So I just hope that they can coach him up enough to keep him protected.
Yeah.
So.
All right. The number 1.
Our number 1 quarterback of the young guns out of 9, the number 1 we picked was Herbie Unloaded.
Herbie fully loaded.
Fully loaded.
We talked about this.
Fully loaded.
Fully loaded.
You can't count on these old guys to remember shit, man. I'm sorry. Herbie fully loaded. Justin Herbert.
I don't think there's anything bad we can say about this besides the fact that Justin Jefferson should have been the Rookie of the Year last year. And
since we're
not even
talking about Justin, you thought we'd go to Justin Herbert. Okay, I sort of see the connection there. I still think you're
not even a close ballot.
Too much.
But I digress. The slightest little bit. I love in redraft Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, because Herbert is going to get them the ball. And if you are in a redraft league and it's full PPR and you are not, and you pass on Eckler, you deserve to lose every game because Eckler is going to get like 15 targets a game out of the backfield. You know what I mean? Eckler is just going to be crazy. It's all because of Herbert. I love fully loaded Herbert. Obviously, I hate that in our league, the NAO, he went to that team because
Auto poo.
Let's throw all of our good players at the auto poo. You know, stop sending people to DBs in auto poo. God. All right, I digress. Your turn.
Yeah. Wow. Good tilt session there you had. I hope you feel better.
Blacked out for a second.
Hope you feel better. Yeah, and you didn't mention Jalen Guyton, who you traded for here recently. Tyron Johnson had some good moments last season, and now they add Josh Palmer to the mix.
I like hope Palmer. Guyton makes wide receiver 3, but he's definitely really good. It's gonna be
hard to keep him off the field. Yeah, they like him there, and that's their guy. You know, guys like Tyron Johnson, Jalen Guyton are from the old regime. Josh Palmer they brought in, so he could easily bump up to that number 3. I think Williams will probably be gone by next year, so he could even scratch the surface of number 2 by next year. I still like Guyton as a sleeper, kind of a dark horse there, you know. Mm-hmm. But Palmer seems to be their guy. So would they bring in Jared Cook at tight end after they lost Hunter Henry?
I think so.
He might have a little gas left in the tank. So yeah, you know, I wasn't a big Herbert fan last season, and I'm coming around a little bit. Still a little bit leery.
Are you in that like, oh, you did it once, let's see you do it again type?
Little bit. I think now we got a new offense and a new coaching staff, so he's got to come up to speed on that. So let's see what they do with him, because I think last year they actually did a good job of using his strengths, I'll say. They didn't put him in situations where his weaknesses could be exposed. So I want to see I want to see what they do. But we ranked these pre-show. I agree with you that Herbert was the number one guy out of these 9 young guns. And I'm hoping that he makes it. I'm hoping that he doesn't have that sophomore slump. I'm hoping that he makes another step forward. I really am. So.
Well, that's the NAO ranking of the 9 young guns from the last 2 years of the NFL draft. So, what else we got next? Do we have time for something else?
I'm not sure. What do you think? I mean, I don't think we have a time limit tonight, so we could end up going for a long time. But
all right, one more segment. Let's go.
All right, tell me what you're. All right, we'll do one more segment. You pick one. We want to talk about the Sony trade. Do we want to talk about the Etienne injury, which we did a little bit, or do you want to? We want to
trade.
You want to talk about the Sony trade?
I would like to hear how you, as the Henderson owner, feel about the Sony trade.
I think Sony is one of the kind of saddest guys in the league because he had some of the best potential, but he also has arthritis in the knees. Yeah. And we saw what that did to Todd Gurley. And I really feel like they brought him in more as a veteran presence, somebody that can maybe give him some snaps. I don't think he's going to take a lot away from Henderson. I also think it's kind of a hit on Jake Funk and Xavier Jones. I think when Darrell Henderson hurt his thumb and they were faced with, oh my gosh, if Henderson doesn't play, what are we going to do? Play Jake Funk? Who the heck is
going to run the ball?
Play Xavier Jones? So I think they really brought in Sony as a guy who, okay, if we have to, we'll play Sony instead of Xavier Jones and Jake Funk. Sorry, Evan, I know that you are in love with Xavier Jones.
He probably is just in the starting lineup right now, and I'm playing him week 1. There's no darn way Xavier Jones is playing week 1.
You know that's smoke and mirrors. He's trying to week
1, and I hope everybody projects.
He's trying to bump up his trade value. He's gonna come in trade, and hey, you want Xavier Jones? He's the number 1 for
3rd round pick.
The Rams, you know. No, if Xavier Jones was the number 1, Sony probably wouldn't be there. So exactly. Yeah, I think Sony is just I think I expected him to bring in somebody, whether it had been AP or Duke Johnson. Maybe Sony's better because he's younger. And we'll see what he's got left. He's actually looked pretty good in preseason. So but I really think that Sony is just going to be somebody that shares time with Henderson. I think they want Henderson to be the guy.
I will say exactly what you're not saying.
Sony, all right, tell me.
It's 100% a depth play. Henderson is going to be the running back 1. Yeah. Sony is going to be the guy that kind of switches up, gives Henderson a break, because there ain't no way Xavier Jones is going to be the guy. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Yeah. So, like you said, they were looking out there and they're like, hey, we need to bring a guy in, either for depth or for veteran presence, what have you, maybe both. Exactly what they did with Sony Michel.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they even announced what draft picks they magically moved to go get him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I think it was like a 5th and a 6th or something like that. It was some low draft picks.
Low draft picks, completely depth play.
Yeah.
I would not be worried about him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not really. I like Sony. I really hope that Sony can keep going. But yeah, with Damian Harris kind of moving up and Ramondre Stevenson having a good preseason, JJ Taylor even showing some good things. I think Sony, it was time for him to go for them. So I hope he does all right there. I hate it for him because I feel like he's going to go the way of Todd Gurley. It's just the knees are just not going to allow him to play at that level that we saw when he was with Georgia. And it's just a shame because I love Sony coming out of Georgia. Really
These running backs, when they hit the league, they've already been playing running back for probably 20 years.
Yeah. They already got a lot of wear and tear.
A lot of wear and tear. I mean, I'm shocked to see that more people don't have this issue like Todd Gurley and Sony, you know?
Yeah.
it just sucks because what could have been one of those things. What could have been.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's the NAO show. Hopefully.
Let's say one thing.
Go ahead.
In all seriousness, it is Mike and Anna's anniversary.
Ooh, yes.
We want to wish them a happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
We love you guys. All right.
That is actually what is happening. Mike and Anna went to Tennessee to bury Dylan. So update on that next week.
Anna,
We'll have a show next week.
Anna's a hell of a shovel girl right there. That chick on a shovel, man. She could do it.
On that note, that's our show. Ian, you still suck.